Are you interested in building your own computer? Is the thought of having a computer that you can say you built yourself exciting to you? No? Well, too bad, because for the next few minutes, it's exactly what I'm going to talk about. To build your own computer does require a certain amount of technical information, so I'll do my best to explain this in a very easy to understand fashion. A few things that I will not be talking about that are part of the computer are the power supply unit, which powers the whole system, and the peripherals such as mouse and keyboard, monitor, speakers, etc. The parts of the computer I will be talking about in this speech are the motherboard, central processing unit, graphical processing unit, memory, and storage. The motherboard, which is our first topic, is the part of the computer that brings everything together and has them function as one. You could think of the motherboard as the central nervous system in the human body. When picking your motherboard, there's a few things you need to consider, such as what are you using this system for? If you're the type of person that just surfs the internet or just does an occasional blog, you won't need as capable of a motherboard as, say, somebody that's doing 3D modeling or playing video games. When building a computer, personally, I like to think of what's called budget modular. This is something that is fairly cheap to get into, but then you can add on to very, very inexpensively. For our build, we'll be talking about the B450M motherboard. We'll just say the letters and numbers of the model number. This type of motherboard is very useful for budget modular because you can easily add on to it. One important thing about the model number is that it will dictate what type of central processing unit that the computer can take. This is called the socket. This is also a great segue to our next topic, the central processing unit. The central processing unit, or CPU for short, is what is the main computer in the computer. This is where all the work is done. You could think of this as the brain of the human body. Central processing unit is also very important for tasks in completing different data flows. If you're the type of person that's, yet again, browsing the internet, doing occasional blogging or social media, you may not need as powerful of a CPU as somebody that's doing 3D modeling, playing video games, or video editing. For our build, I'll be discussing our Ryzen 3600X. This is a very good middle-of-the-road CPU that'll handle your low-end stuff and a little bit of the high-end stuff. This is also very good bang for your buck. It's usually pretty inexpensive. The next part we'll be talking about is memory, random access memory, or RAM for short. Our random access memory is important because this is where some tasks are stored temporarily. This could be thought of as the short-term memory of the human body. RAM also plays a critical role in the computer because it can help how fast tasks will be completed. For my build, what I used were two individual pieces of 8 GB RAM. The most important thing when selecting RAM is making sure it's compatible with your motherboard. Having a fast computer is useless if you can't see what you're doing with it. For our next part, we'll be talking about the graphical processing unit, or GPU for short. If you're the type of person, yet again, doing blogging, internet browsing, you may be able to get away with a very cheap, inexpensive video card, whereas somebody that's playing video games or that's using 3D modeling software, they'll need something that's more powerful graphics card. The type of graphics card we'll be talking about in our build is going to be an NVIDIA 1660S. Yet again, don't worry about all the letters and numbers, we'll just say that that's the model number. So, we've talked about our motherboard, our CPU, our GPU, and our memory. What's left? Well, I'm glad you asked. The next part we'll talk about is the storage. The storage is important because we don't always need to just use the random access memory that's storing stuff temporarily. We may want to store something long term. Our storage we could think of as, well, the memory, the storage of the human body. For our build, I'll be recommending what's called a solid state storage device. This is not the slowest, but it's not the fastest on the market. It's a good middle of the road. For our build, I will not be recommending a specific type, as there are a lot of types of memory out there. What I will be recommending is a 500 gigabyte SSD. So that's it. You have everything that you need to build your own computer, and you have all the information that you need. Good luck building.